Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod release. And today we've got something to be excited for. That is the Infantry Battle Rifle, or as you may know it, an FAL. Well, not really. It's actually not an FAL at all. It's a T-48 prototype FAL, which is actually going to be the American version of the FAL designed for the M14 trials. The T-48 is an American-made FAL that was actually a potential option as a battle rifle for the US military, and we have recreated it for Fallout 4, with some minor differences for animations and stuff, but it is pretty faithful to the original. Gun nuts may notice some minor inconsistencies, but they really don't matter for gameplay, and it still offers a really nice rendition of a FAL, and a lore-friendly one at that. There's a few FAL options out there, but this one is going to try to stick a little bit more to the vanilla style of attachments and balancing. Speaking of attachments, this thing has over 45 brand new attachments, adding tons of different variety in the ways that you can run this weapon, including full auto versions, semi-auto versions, long scopes, short scopes, grips, whatever you need to make this thing work however you want, whether it's a long-range battle rifle or an up-close full auto 308 spewing machine. Pretty much everything in this mod is custom when it comes to models and textures, and it even has custom FAL animations thanks to the wonderful War Daddy. As always, this weapon is going to be added to the world, much like all of my mods, so if you want to get this thing, it will be spawning on enemies, including raiders, gunners, and the Brotherhood of Steel after level 30, and you can of course purchase it from vendors as well. Now yes, you did hear me correctly, this thing spawns after level 30. It is intended to be a late game weapon. Now while this is just a FAL, it is a 308 option, and it comes in semi-automatic and even full auto versions. When it hits 308, it has a ton of damage. It's basically a hunting rifle, but juiced up to be very good. So it's going to be spawning at a higher level so that you don't get to just mow through every opponent in the early to mid game. Keep in mind the vanilla assault rifle spawns at around level 28, so I think this is a pretty fair level for it to spawn at. And once you get into those late game enemies, they are pretty bullet spongy, so this thing still actually needs a few shots to take down some of those high level enemies. That being said, if you do wander into a low level area, this thing is going to be one-shotting pretty much everything, especially if it's in semi-auto. Now, on top of the leveled list versions of this weapon, which will be added to random enemies, there are also a handful of uniques you can go collect as well that we'll go into more details with when we check out all of the weapons individually. Cool thing about this thing being modeled after a T-48 is you can still use it with your favorite FAL mod, or you can use it standalone. It's really up to you, depending on what you like, but it is going to have its own unique aesthetic that is a little bit different from the ones you've seen on the Nexus already. Now then, let's start checking out some of the finer details of this weapon, including its stats. So here we are with a basic version of the short infantry battle rifle. The infantry battle rifle is going to be the naming for when it's in its standard configuration, but if you throw on scopes, it'll become a marksman rifle, which is pretty fun. This thing has a base damage of around 65, uses 308 like I said before, and this is its semi-auto damage specifically. That will go down if you throw on any automatic receivers, much like the vanilla balancing. It has a fire rate of about 44, a range of 137, an accuracy of 57, a weight of 11.9 pounds, this thing being solid wood and steel, and a value of 146 caps. But there are also a handful of uniques for this weapon. So, starting off with the first unique, we have a Minutemen themed unique, which is known as the right arm. This thing has some nice blue paint on both the receiver and the wood furniture. Comes with a blue tape option magazine here, and it is a very extended magazine as well. And it has some nice decals such as Let Freedom Ring and some Minutemen logos to boot. This thing's really cool. It comes in full auto, and it does 50% more damage to limbs because it is the right arm. If you want to get your hands on this thing, you will have to do some of the Minutemen questline and gain access to the Minutemen Castle, where you will find this thing in the castle tunnels. Now, the complete inverse of the right arm, we have a gunner option for the FAL, and that thing is going to be known as the Scavenger. Fun thing about this one is it has a chance to find extra 308 ammo on enemies that you kill, specifically 308, so you can replenish the ammo spent from this weapon to get some more ammo for this weapon. Pretty cool. It's never going to give you any more ammo than you spend on an enemy. It has a small chance per shot that you connect with, so even if you are 100% accurate, you will not be getting nearly as much ammo as you spent, but you will get a little bit back, which is a nice thing, especially for 308. It's not exactly a plentiful ammo source. Much like the Minutemen version, this thing can be found in a faction-specific area, which is Vault 95, one of the gunner headquarters. And finally, that leaves a neutral unique, the Anchorage Campaign Rifle, coming with its own unique winter skin, not only on the metal, but even on the wood, with a nice little Arctic camo. This thing's going to have a nice bit of armor penetration, ignoring 30% of the target's damage and energy resistances from their armors. And altogether, this thing is a pretty cool unique. I have to say, I'm pretty happy with how the Dusty skin came out. Now then, if you want to get your hands on this one, it's actually found at a roadside war memorial over by Quincy Quarries. Now, I did mention earlier, this thing does have custom animations. Let's go ahead and check those out now. As you can see, pretty faithful to the FAL, and a whole lot of fun to use. This thing is pretty accurate, good at hitting its targets very, very easily with a nice set of iron sights. But there are some other animations included in this mod, including... let me get my hotkeys correct here. The full auto versions, which are pretty beefy, and even, as you can see here, a vertical foregrip, which is a pretty fun one. And we have a nice vertical foregrip based on the Australian version of this weapon. Pretty cool stuff. Good animations fitting for a really, really cool weapon. Now then, let's talk about everybody's favorite section, the attachments. We've got a good bit of attachments here, starting off with the receiver section. We have your standard semi-automatic receivers up through your many automatic options, including a rapid automatic option, which just makes this thing kind of insane, spewing out 308 at a very, very high rate of fire. For barrels, we have some pretty basic barrels, the carbine barrel being the shortest, a long barrel, or rather a standard barrel, then the long barrel, and then a support barrel, which adds a nice bipod to the front of this thing. We have the stock section, where you have a good bit of options here. A short stock, which is going to be actually no stock at all, just the pistol grip. The full stock as standard. A gunslinger stock, which adds a nice ammo pouch to the side there for faster reloads. We have a light stock based on the actual light FAL stocks. We have a short recoil stock, the recoil stock offering a vertical foregrip in the front here, along with that Australian-style handguard. And then a recoil stock in full with the stock combined. A marksman stock, which adds a nice little cheek pad. And then a tactical stock offering the vanilla tactical stock from the combat rifle. For magazines, we have the standard option, a quick eject version with blue tape, an extended option along with quick eject, and a high capacity option with quick eject as well, which makes for a ridiculously long magazine. But FALs actually do have magazines like this. It's kind of wild, but it does actually make sense. Then for the sight section, we have standard iron sights, the reflex sight based on the Elbit Falcon, a hollow scope based on the Bushnell Hollow, a short scope, which is a Colt 3x, a medium scope, a long scope, a brand new night vision scope that I modeled based on the old New Vegas night vision scope, and then a recon scope based a little bit off of the Halo sniper scope, but it is pretty dang cool, and I kind of lore-friendly-ified it the best that I could. On top of that, we also have the muzzle section, where we have options for no muzzle, the FAL flash hider, a muzzle booster, which will increase fire rate, especially in full auto, a compensator, a muzzle brake, and a suppressor, all of which custom for this mod. And then finally, we do have one other section, where you get to choose your color. We have standard wood furniture and black polymer furniture. And then, of course, the different paints available on all of the different uniques as well, though I wouldn't recommend swapping those out, as they are unique to the weapon itself. So yeah, guys, that is the T-48, or the FAL, or as it is known in this mod, the Infantry Battle Rifle. A very, very fun, new, heavy-hitting, late-game weapon that I think fits perfectly in Fallout 4 Sandbox. The FAL is a wonderful retro weapon, and it's something that I think belongs in Fallout. It's made its way into past titles, so it might as well make its way into Fallout 4 as well. It has a couple times previously. Like I said, this is just another take on it, depending on what your preferences are. I don't like super tactical mods, so I like this one quite a bit, and I think it's going to have a nice permanent spot in my load order. If you want to try this mod out for yourself, it will be linked down in the description as always. I am not sure if there's an Xbox port as I am recording this, but go ahead and keep checking. I'm sure it'll pop up sometime soon. At the very least, PC users can grab it right now, and if you enjoy the mod, consider dropping an endorsement. If you enjoyed this video, consider dropping it a like. It does the same thing on both areas, just giving a little bit more traction to this content if you'd like to spread it to more people. As always, if you'd like to support my work directly, you can do so using the link down in the description to support me on Patreon, though it is completely optional. Just donations if you're into that kind of thing. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy the mod. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!